Welcome to another episode. What I want to talk about today is purpose. And I think there is a misconception about what purpose truly is. And we're putting so much pressure onto ourselves, thinking that it needs to be this massive thing and we need to find a purpose because otherwise we cannot live. And the thing is, like, it took me such a long time to find my own purpose. And that's why I really feel like, hey, this is someone needs to hear this today. And yeah, so let's dive right into it. So, what I've discovered throughout my life of like finishing university and like being done and trying to figure out what I want to do next is that there's such an intense pressure to find a certain job description that fits your purpose. It's like, do you want to become a designer? Do you want to become a marketing manager? Do you want to become a nurse? It doesn't matter what it is, but there's just this insane pool of options that we have. And I think nowadays, like, we have so many options, and on the one hand, that's great, right? It's great that we can do literally anything. But then on the other hand, like, it sometimes can just become too much. It's gonna end up in being like winding like over and over and over again and being like, damn, but I want to be a designer, but at the same time, I want to have my own podcast. And then I also want to look into web design, but I also want to look into, you know what I mean? Like, for me, for example, like, I'm so multifaceted and there's so many things that I'm interested in that it's hard for me to, like, just be like, oh, that's the one thing that I want to put my energy towards, and that's the one thing that I want to accomplish in my life. And I think that's already where the problem lies. Because what I have learned for myself is that purpose is not a job description. Like, purpose literally can be to simply exist and be a light for others. It can be as simple as that. And I think because there's so many people, especially when you're young, that you meet that constantly ask you, like, what are you up to? What are you doing? Oh, I remember you finished your studies. Like, what are you doing now? What are you doing with your life? Like, there's all these questions about what are you doing with your life? Like, are you gonna become rich? Are you doing something with your life? Are you know what I mean? Like, are you going to be successful because of your choices right now? And at least that's how I always felt, is like, that's how I perceived it from other people, is always like, they wanted to know my next steps, to like try to predict if I'm going to be successful or if right now I'm just lazy and don't really know what to do with my life. And the thing is, like, I for a long time I didn't have an answer, and I also did not want to answer, because every time I answered this question, I saw there was some sort of judgment in their eyes. And I don't know, that's like literally the one thing that I can tell you is like, to take off the whole pressure of everyone and anyone around you, is to remember that purpose is so much more than simply a job description. Like, there can be so many purposes. Like, one purpose that I have discovered for myself that I have is to wake people up. I don't know, that's just literally what I've been noticing throughout my life, is that oftentimes I come into people's lives to show them what they are capable of, and then often I'm just leaving. And it has something to do with how my energy works. And I think all of us have we all are so powerful, and we underestimate the power that we have when it comes to like the energy that we hold. And that's what I mean. Like, there's so many different purposes. Like, you, for example, could be someone who holds a very loving and dear light within yourself, right? And that could be your purpose, could be then that you're like, in this world where everyone thinks that everything is dark and there's a lot going on, that there's a lot of darkness. You are meant to be the light in people's lives, and you're meant to come into people's lives, and then they receive hope and love again because you have been in their life. Doesn't matter if it's just a small encounter, if it's just a smile to someone, it doesn't matter. And I think that's like so beautiful. And once I've realized that my life's purpose does not need to be like one specific thing. Once I realized that, like everything started to flow, everything started to make sense. And for me personally, I mean, it was really the decision to be like, okay, like despite what anyone else is telling me right now, I'm choosing to do my own thing. And one thing that I've not talked about yet and that I know I should talk about at some point, but I don't really feel ready yet to talk about, but I have experienced a very dark time in my life. And I don't know, the last 2 years have been extremely dark for me. And let's just put it that way. I know how it feels to be in your own darkness. And I know it sounds hard, and I know that we're all like just mirrors to the world. So when you experience a lot of darkness within, it's gonna be mirrored to you as well. And throughout this time of like going through all this dark time, one thing that I have learned from all this was if I'm capable of surviving my own darkness, then I'm capable of anything really. Because once I survive that, then what else is there, right? So that's really the one thing that allowed me now to be able to do all the things that I'm doing, to explore all the creative projects that I've started and to really dive into them and go all in and be like, well, I'm just gonna be as delusional as I possibly can because I know that the delusion I hold within myself is what is going to bring me forward. Because if I don't believe in what I am creating, then nobody else is going to. You know what I mean? And that's like literally the one thing that I've learned now is you need to be extremely delusional. Like literally, if I know that you sitting here with me having this beautiful conversation, I know that there is something inside of you that you want to do that you're not doing. And it might be something that you have been suppressing over years. And that's why you don't even feel it anymore. But I can just say for myself that has, for me, it was singing. Like, I loved singing as a child. I loved dancing and singing and expressing my voice and doing all these things. But then over time, like, I shrinked and I never allowed myself to sing. I never did. I was always scared that people would hear that I have a beautiful voice, and I don't even know why. Like, genuinely, I don't understand why I was so scared that someone would hear that I can sing. But it must have been some sort of protection mechanism that I had. But now that I'm allowing myself to just be and be myself, I've started to sing, like I'm starting to sing so much again. And it really heals something inside of me. And I know that I want to do something with music at some point in my life. Like maybe not right now, but I know that's something I definitely want to explore. And that's what I mean. It's like if you allow yourself to go within yourself and maybe look even into childhood, because I think often it lays in our childhood. Think of something that you always wanted to do, that you always wanted to become, and then just allow yourself to feel it. You don't have to do something about it. You don't have to pursue it just because you know it now. But once you allow yourself to open that space in yourself to be like, okay, like I'm not sure what I'm meant to do here on this earth while I'm living here, but I know that it's something great and grand, and I don't know, I allow myself to receive it. And once you think about that and you just go into that state of like, okay, why did my soul come here? What was my soul's mission? And then just allow the answers to come within you over time. That's really when things are starting to flow. And I can tell you, like, the one thing that has helped me so much is just taking the smallest actions you possibly can towards it. Like, if you think of something that you always wanted to do, oftentimes it seems incredibly big and it seems like this massive thing, this massive project, this massive thing. But once you start realizing that the only thing you need to do is like do baby steps every single day, and like do a baby step today, do a baby step the other day. Like for me, for example, singing. Let's go back to singing. I have a desire to create music, right? Like I want to sing, I want to do this. I don't know how to do it, whatever, but I feel it. I know it's there. And the other day I was watching TV and something came through. There was just a feeling of like, I have a melody within me. So I just took my phone and it didn't even like turn off the TV. I was just watching TV parallel to it. And I was just like, what is that in English? When you do like type thing, yeah, whatever. I did that into my microphone of my phone, and I just called it like song one. Who knows what I'm going to do with that one day? But the thing is, like, it doesn't have to be something. It doesn't have to become something. It was just me, like, it was just more me stepping into this role of like, okay, I know that I have this desire to create music, so let me take the first step towards it. And yeah, that's just literally how I have over the last, so I can say like 2 years. 2 years, I did not really know what to do with my life. And I mean, even before, but before, the thing like before was more like I was still in university. For me, it was like, okay, I chose the subject now. I'm just gonna finish it. Let me see where this is gonna go. And the one thing that I always held within myself was like, what do others expect me to do? And once I finished university, I kind of realized that that's bullshit. That's what I realized. Like, I applied to so many jobs and nothing worked out. And while I had these job interviews, I kind of realized that I don't even want to do this job. Like, in my mind, I was like, why am I even doing this? Why am I applying to jobs that I don't even want to do? And then after a while, I kind of realized that it was more like other people, like what I thought other people are expecting from me because I studied business. And I was like, okay, now I need to go into marketing. That's like the only logical thing because I already worked in a marketing agency. So next step is going to be become a marketing manager. Because like thinking about this, it already makes me feel like there's an ick in my heart. It makes me feel like, ugh, marketing manager. Not that that's a bad thing. Like if you have your dream to be a marketing manager, please go for it. I just know that for me it would need to be a very specific role as a marketing manager to have fun. But I was applying to like the big brands and the big whatever stuff, and from experience and what I've heard is that those companies oftentimes they just roll out the same thing over and over again, and there's not much room for creativity. It's more like mass producing marketing stuff. I don't know. Could be wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know, but that's just what I've heard and experienced a little bit through the marketing agency. But the thing is, like, once I realized that I'm only applying to these jobs and I'm only doing these things because of other people, I kind of realized that I'm not living for myself. I'm not living for myself. I'm living for other people. And once I realized that, and I was going through this darkness, and I literally was at a point where I was like, I cannot do this anymore. I cannot continue like this because I don't know if I would survive it, to be honest. And once I allowed myself to like go into such a dark place where I realized like there's no way out. I need to change something because this is not gonna work out how it's rolling. This is was kind of the moment where I realized like I need to do what I truly desire because otherwise there is no point for me. And I know that sounds very sad and whatever, and one day we might go into that topic a little deeper, but that's just really the moment where I realized that this is my life. This is my life. Nobody else needs to go through this life. Nobody needs to go through the hardship of this life, of my life. other than myself. And if I'm constantly doing things that other people want from me, then I know I'm not going to be happy. And I know I'm not going to feel any kind of joy for living and whatever. So, yeah, that was kind of the moment when I decided to start this podcast. Because I knew that I have experienced so many things and so many, I don't want to always say like so many dark things. I have experienced a lot of things in every area of my life, I would say. And not just dark, like also great things. My life has been great too. Like, I'm not trying to say that I had a horrible life so far. The thing is though, like, I knew that I need to alchemize it. I knew I need a platform where I'm able to like feel like all the darkness that I went through had its own purpose. Because I mean, I do believe that everything has a higher purpose and whatever, and I needed to go through these things to be the person I am today. But at the same time, for me, was the thought of like, okay, if I share it with others, then they can learn from it or take something away from it. And then it kind of, why do I want to say justify the darkness that I went through? I don't find another word. We'll just stick with that word. But yeah, anyways, I think you get the point that I'm trying to put here. So I think the main message of this is like I literally wrote it down and I'm going to read it to you again. And it is that your purpose is a never ending path that you create, not a job description. And to just clarify that again, is if you feel a spark towards something, follow it. Just take the first step towards it and see what happens. And once you have that, you do the next thing. For me, that kind of looks like, okay, I'm starting my podcast. Trying to figure out how can I upload this on Spotify? What kind of name do I want? You know, like all these things, like trying to figure out one baby step at a time. So now this ball is rolling. The next exciting thing I started that I always wanted to do and I never did was DJing. I always wanted to DJ. Always. Always thought that's like so much fun. I grew up with techno. My dad always listened to a lot of techno. Like, even when I grew up, I was just techno everywhere. And I don't know, it just feels like a deep part of me. It's just a part of me and I love the music, and I don't know, I deeply love the music, to be honest. I just have like this intense relationship with it, and I don't know, I always loved it. And I always thought like I don't know, I always loved it. So over time I tried to do it and there was no opportunity for me to start it, but now all of a sudden I have the opportunities around me to explore it. So now I'm super excited every time and I'm just following that excitement. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I just started to learn it and I recorded my first set. Then now I figured out what my name is going to be, and then I kind of now figured out like, oh, that's kind of design that I think that might be cool to like as my DJ design type of thing. You know what I mean? So the point of this is just I can highly recommend doing one thing at a time, because otherwise you're going to be overwhelmed like I have been. I'm talking from experience. But like once you know, okay, this is the project that I want to invest in it, roll with it, and once that ball is rolling, you can get the next ball rolling. And I think if you do that with more things, then you're going to create more and more paths. You know what I mean? Like you're creating the one path, okay, podcast, do. And then that ball is like the path is already creating there, you know, like it's already rolling. And then you're starting the next thing. And that's like continuing throughout your path as well. And it's just going to create this like choo thing. Yeah. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, anyways, and even if you're working somewhere that you don't enjoy right now, just go with it. Don't be like me and just be like, fuck, I'm gonna cut everything and I'm just gonna, cut everything and just I have to figure this out type of thing. Like I think looking back at it, I could have worked a normal job and explore these things parallel to it, to be honest. I mean, I'm a very radical person, so I kind of like I mean, I didn't even find a job that I liked. So that's why to me it felt right to just go all in on my creative projects and just stick with that for now. But yeah, what I'm trying to say with this is like, if you're in a job that you don't really like and you have the urgency, like you feel an urgency of like, oh, I need to find my purpose, I need to fulfill my purpose, and my job doesn't feel like my purpose, maybe your job is preparing you for your even higher purpose and you don't even know it yet, for example. Like, there's always a reason for these things. And like, even for me, the marketing agency, like, the time there was okay, but looking back, I learned so many things and I can use so many, like, literally the 1 year that I worked there, I have learned so much looking back at it, and I'm using so many things that I've learned there that I'm madly grateful that happened. Even though when I was in the job itself, I felt like, damn, that's oof. Not always. Like, it was from the jobs that I had, it was my favorite job, but just saying, it was not perfect. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Just if you find your spark in a spark project and just let that roll with your other job. And then once you decide that you want to get out of the other job that you don't like too much and you want to invest more in your mini projects, then yeah, why not? But I hope that helped you. I hope that was helpful. Let me know in the comments if you have any thoughts or anything or something you want to share. And yes, I love you guys. See you next week and lots of kisses.